Alright, what up everybody? This is Andre from Jawan Fitness once again. So right now I'm just doing one of my walks. I do my 50-minute walks on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So I chose to go now at like around 6 o'clock because the sun is not as high overhead as it would be 12 or 1 in the afternoon. So during the hottest part of the day, I like to make sure I do most of my work then. And right now, I'm like halfway done, so I have 25 more minutes to go. And as I was saying is that no matter what your goal is, whether you're lean, broken, trying to put on size, cutting or just maintain like me, walking is very good for your cardiovascular health, but make sure that you're tracking it, especially when you're trying to put on mass, because if you walk too much, then you're not going to be able to gain as much weight as you want to put on muscle. You may be actually consuming less calories and losing weight or maintaining without realizing. So make sure you're tracking your steps and walking, or how long that you do that, whether you're doing just a regular nature walk, running, jogging on a treadmill, or doing HIIT training, whatever that you like to do. Now anyways, the topic of this video is going to be 3 common mistakes that people make when intermittent fasting, and this was something that I had to learn by myself. So mistake number 1 is that you're not giving your body enough time to adapt to it, because if you've been dieting for one certain way for a whole period of years, so let's say that most of us, we've been used to eating breakfast for 25, 30 years, and if you try to switch it automatically and do it for a week or two, you'd be like, oh, it's not working. Why am I always hungry all the time? This sucks. And that's how I felt when my first 2 weeks of doing it. But I would say it takes you, I say that takes you about at least a month to get used to intermittent fasting, and then once you do that, it will be as easy as cake. It'll be freaking effortless, and you won't even have to think about it. So to make intermittent fasting easier, you want to make sure that you're drinking at least 40 ounces of water every morning when you wake up. Then about an hour later, you want to have your first cup of black coffee, black tea. If you don't like that, you can have a Monster Energy, whatever have you. So you want to give your body enough time to adjust to the diet, just like with anything else that you do. Mistake number 2 is that you're not staying hydrated. You're not drinking enough water. So even if you are following the tips right and you're still wondering why you're hungry or it's hard for you to stay full, it's because you're not drinking enough water. You may be drinking a lot of coffee and tea, but water is really what's going to help you stay full and hydrated. It's just going to make it much more enjoyable for you. And plus, if you're dehydrated, you're going to have a headache. Yes, even if you do drink the coffee for your energy benefits, and that's something that I had to like overcome when I first started intermittent fasting 4 to 5 years ago, where I just wasn't drinking enough freaking water, man. I would just do sips and all that, and I was wondering why I feel like I was out of focus. I had a headache. So make sure you're staying hydrated, man, to make it so easy for you to stay full. And another tip I want to say is that if you somehow do get hungry before your first meal, all you had to do is have a slice of an apple, a banana, or an orange, or a couple of blueberries to tie you over until your fast is over. And number 3, this is the biggest mistake, and I don't know why I did this fad right here, but that is actually doing bulletproof coffee. So if you don't know what that is when you actually put MCT oil in your coffee, and it's full of calories anyway. So if you put 2 tablespoons of that in there, that's 500 calories. And people say, oh, it's healthy because I get all these benefits. I mean, yeah, you are, but you're basically negating the effects of the black coffee if you add in additional calories to it, because naturally it has only 0 to 5 calories, and that's really going to help you with your fat loss goals. So I just want to say that you don't want to do any of those bulletproof fads and stuff like that if your goal is to actually maintain a lean, shredded physique and be as ripped and defined as you are. Especially if you're losing fat, man, you don't want to do any of that stuff. And I'll give you a bonus before I go. Like, I was going to do this one, but I just want to give you as much knowledgeable information as I possibly can. So mistake number 4 is you're just not eating enough protein, because protein is going to help you stay full and satiated in between your meals. And if you're not eating enough, then it's going to be really hard for you to do intermittent fasting for the long term and the long run. And even though the carbs are going to give you extra energy boost for your workouts and keep you motivated, the protein is really going to just keep you full for 5 to 6 hours after your meals. So make sure for all your meals that you're eating a sufficient amount of protein. And I would say you want to aim for at least 0.82 grams per pound of body weight for your protein. I tried doing a whole bunch of different methods myself, and I found this is the best for me. So I went all the way up to 2 grams per pound of body weight, which is completely unnecessary for me. Like, you're just wasting all this money, and all this protein is just not being used. It's just not beneficial. And then I went all the way down to 0.4 grams per pound of body weight. But what I found out with that is you're not gaining enough muscle. And on top of that, when you're cutting, you're going to lose a lot of muscle, but you're not getting your body a sufficient amount of protein. So let's say, for example, if you weigh 200 pounds, then you only need about 164 grams of protein every single day to reach that 0.82 grams per pound of body weight right there. If you're a little off, don't worry about it. As long as you're within 5 to 10 grams of your target, you're good. So that's actually what I want to talk about in this video. If you have any more questions about intermittent fasting, and look at this freaking view behind me. It's just so beautiful out here in Northeast Raleigh. So As I said, if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. Leave the discussions in the comment below, and make sure to do the video and all that stuff. And yes, I think somebody just honked on me. That must have been one of my friends, my boys, that he saw me. But anyways, I was saying that you actually want to feel free to add me to the social media, because I have an Instagram where there's Andre Suave, and there I talk about tips on staying in shape, as well as helping you reach your fitness and physique goals. And you can also just see the daily stats updates that I post on Instagram. And last but not least, you can check me out on my 2 Facebook accounts. My personal is Andre Brown, and there I have tips I share of the day, as well as helping you stay motivated on the grind and reaching your fitness goals. And if you send me a friend request, I'm going to see it and respond as quickly as possible, because that's more personal anyways if you become one of my friends. And last but not least, I have my personal Facebook group, which is your Want Exercise Health Community, and in there I talk about tips on achievement, motivation, staying successful, being on track, and accountability. And make sure that you actually put the notifications for the YouTube video guys, so you know when my videos are coming out. It makes it easy as possible on all of us. And make sure to share with your family, friends, everybody you know, because the more people that see this video and share it, the more people I'll be able to help. So that's all I have for you. I'm about to continue the rest of this 19-minute walk, because I've been walking for 6 minutes. And then out of that, I'm going to cook some dinner, probably shower, and then do some more reading and watch TV, and that's it. So if you want to see me on Instagram tomorrow, feel free to check my account on Andre Suave, and I'll see you.